I just recently came across a situation where my friend liked a girl and he just missed her, saying that he would not be able to take care of her, that he would not be able to provide for her properly. I wonder how many guys think that and feel the same way. Story 1. Sure. Almost every day. The difference with me is that I am at a point in my life where pursuing a relationship just does not make sense. Not for the reasons your friend has, but my life currently is just about 100% drama-free. I have a lot of hobbies I enjoy doing on my own or with friends. I have daily habits and routines I am very happy with, and overall I am just at peace. I am not willing to derail any of that by throwing a variable in there like pursuing a relationship or girl at the moment. I have been the happiest in my life being single for the past few years. Story 2. You mean in public? Don't women just want to be left alone? I'm not approaching strangers unless it's a social context that allows that kind of behavior. The primary reason I would not pursue someone now is that I'm married, and presumably, some number of men out in public are also in happy monogamous relationships. When I was single, though, I wouldn't bother a woman in public just because she was cute, and I assume women just want to be left alone. Story 3. All the time, but back in February of this year, I was working at the airport and saw this gorgeous tall woman who was clearly British. I got discouraged from talking to her. Turned out it was Joss Stone, the singer. I talked myself out of hitting on a celebrity. Story 4. How about, she's cute, so there's no point in pursuing her. If you are below a certain level, attraction to someone means they are unlikely to be interested in you. Story 5. Used to be pretty much every time. She probably has a boyfriend or, I doubt she would be interested in me. Now I just can't think of anything to say when I see someone I like. Not quick enough anyway. I try to remember things I think of afterward for the next time, but still my mind goes blank in the moment. Story 6. When I was single, this was a constant occurrence. I think it is for almost any single guy. It's usually not worth it to pursue a girl unless I have some sort of in that will make things easier. Pursuing a girl you don't know who hasn't shown any interest in you is the absolute hardest way to date. You're going to spend a lot of time and get few results. Story 7. Easily multiple times a day. There's no way to meet women normally and naturally in modern culture. You just have to get insanely lucky for opportunities like that. Story 8. Maybe it's easier to explain it like this. You've seen that meme of the overweight guy and the handsome guy asking the same question, and the woman calls human resources on the overweight guy. It's a vast oversimplification of a genuine issue. Impromptu advances are much more well received when made by someone attractive. The difference between having your interest reciprocated in an engaging way and creeping a girl out and giving her the ick comes down to whether she's attracted to you or not. The problem is that as a man, you are expected to know this without talking with her, and if you get it wrong, you've harmed someone. So, most men are going to err on the side of caution and avoid talking to anyone they perceive as above their league because, first, they don't want to be seen as a creep, and second, they don't want to be hurt. Having to initiate is a scary and vulnerable position to be in, and no one wants to get hurt by doing that. There is an extraordinarily simple solution to this problem that will never happen, at least in this current climate. Women asking men out. It solves 99% of these problems. But it won't happen because, like I said, expressing interest in someone is a vulnerable position to be in. Why would people do that if they don't have to? Story 9. The rejection gets you. The longer it goes in, the harder it gets to expose oneself, complaining about general body image or other insecurities. Men have countless, and societal narratives that discount nearly everyone as real men in those standards, then the expenses. Put it all together and a very clear picture emerges as to why men don't want to pursue. Story 10. Pretty and cute, but single. She is cute, but probably crazy. Pretty and cute, with a guy nearby. They're probably dating. Pretty and cute, in a group of other pretty and cute ladies. Too much effort to try and charm all the ladies just to get to the one. Also all the time. She doesn't even know I exist. She could do way better than me. Am I actually ready to date? I'm overthinking this. On with my day. Story 11. I see attractive women all the time. Multiple times a day if I'm out and about. You just kind of become numb to it over the years and don't do anything about it. saying that I would not be able to take care of her, that he would not be able to provide for her properly. Oh wow, nothing like that. It's just that the chances they're also interested in me and single are so low that I don't see the point in trying unless she shows some interest in me. Also, I'm just not that outgoing. I don't have anything to say to strangers. Story 12. I'm not attractive enough to approach girls randomly. So back when I was single, I literally never thought she's cute. I'm gonna go talk to her, for fear that I would wind up in jail on harassment charges or something. Story 13. Every time. I'm 35 years old. I'm done chasing. Pursuit is a young man's game. I'm patient now and sit back and wait to be approached or for an opportunity to fall in my lap. Whatever works as long as it's not a bunch of work. I don't work outside of work anymore. Story 14. Rarely. Most women I see are a no, don't care. I do sometimes think, she's pretty, beautiful, cute. But that never really triggers an, I should try and talk to her. At best, I think, I should have something to say if I find myself in a situation where a conversation could happen. Right now, I can only think of one person, a colleague, I'd be curious to talk to because she has a great body and no obvious deal breakers. Mind you, talk to. I'm not at all decided on whether she'd be worth pursuing. Story 15. How often do you look at a girl and immediately think, she is cute, but there is no point in pursuing her? All the time. She would just reject me, so there is not any point. Story 16. I'm a lady, so maybe you don't want my response. But just in case it's relevant, I also feel this way. I feel so broken, not where I am supposed to be in life, that it is genuinely not a worthwhile pursuit anymore. Like anyone I could, on paper, have a healthy relationship with would not accept me for very long, and anyone that would accept me would be doing so either for the wrong reasons or because they themselves are messed up. It's gotten to a point that when I see someone attractive, I get that little dopamine rush we all get, and then reality hits and I disengage. My head just keeps playing these scenarios of trying to live a normal life in a relationship, and I just feel like I'd fall short. Like I can't do it even if I try. I'm just missing something, and anyone who gets too close ends up feeling it, and there's nothing I can do. So my options are to keep throwing myself at relationships that are not going to work because the reality is I am not relationship material and get my heart broken, or accept that I am not relationship material and try to get something else out of life. I wish I could have a relationship, so acceptance is hard, but I'm working on it. Story 17. I just walk around assuming every woman is married or in a relationship. But I am in my 30s and am only drawn to women around my own age. I do not pursue a woman unless I know she is single but also interested. The older we get, the more single people are not even interested, so I am not wasting my time. Story 18. Basically 100% of the time. Clinical depression. Dead-end job. Job in school to hopefully get out of the dead-end job, plus volunteering leave little time for a relationship, especially given my lack of energy, thanks to clinical depression. Out of shape. I haven't exercised once this whole semester, and my diet has suffered due to depression, so I'm probably the least physically fit I've been my whole life. I'm an ideological and spiritual extreme minority in my age group and area, as a progressive atheist who lives in Texas, which means that chances are anyone I might be interested in is likely philosophically diametrically opposed to me. I'm short on top of being out of shape at 5 feet 6 inches or 168 centimeters. And thus realistically am not an ideal partner for many people who are more interested in taller men. I rightly have no interest or desire to date or pursue anyone at the university I attend because I am about 18 years older than 85 to 90% of the other students, and the students that I'm not that much older than are typically male military veterans such as myself, and I'm heterosexual. The other demographic that might be of a similar age as me would be the professors, which is its own can of unethical worms that I want no part of. Story 19. I think most men are highly aware of the responsibility that comes with a relationship, and I definitely steer clear of anyone who isn't down to earth and looks like they would be both demanding and controlling. It's not worth the expenditure of time, effort, and money. I'd much rather just take care of myself and get back to focusing on my career than deal with anyone needy or high maintenance. Story 20. Literally every single semi-attractive girl or woman I've seen in my entire life. Literally no female human being has shown even a modicum of interest in me. A lot of bullying and shaming though. Pretty much every woman in the adult world is either taken, identifies as part of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender community with no interest in being with men or not interested in a relationship. In my first year of college, there were 18-year-old women talking about their engagements. See, most modern women, especially attractive ones, are pretty high maintenance in the era of new hypermaterialism. I don't have anything they'd even like to begin with. Story 21. It happens more often than you think. When I was in college 35 years ago, I did this quite a bit. She looked incredibly attractive, I felt a little awkward, and I didn't bother pursuing her because it seemed pointless. It's one reason why, if you are a woman and you see a man you like, you need to say something rather than hope he will approach you. Story 22. For me, it's like looking at a different species when it comes to very attractive women. I see pretty women every day, but you kind of shut off the potential for anything in your head after a while. Being a fairly unattractive man is like being poor. You can always look through the shop window, but even attempting to go in feels like you are wasting your time. Story 23. I think if a man isn't in a financial situation or has another issue, maybe it's better not to pursue someone. As a man, today's dating world has been confusing to me, but men may be more confident in knowing if they have their things together. For me, that's my education. Money doesn't have to be the number one reason. The hopeless romantic in me would enjoy finding a woman to build a future from the ground up. Some men have their reasons or insecurities. Story 24. That happens to me nearly daily. There's no shortage of pretty women. I just look at the idea of what relationships are today and think, odds are I'm going to be expected to do increasingly more for increasingly less as time goes on. It's near guaranteed that eventually I'm the only one doing anything in the relationship, and if I'm not, it's only because I'll have to stay on her case about it every day just like in my last one all those years ago. Either she'll leave and blame me for her choice to be unhappy from the start or I leave. Either way, I'm getting demonized once again. Why even bother? Story 25. She is gorgeous, but I do not really want to have to constantly be planning trips to Bali to keep her interested. Hell, even if I do, all it takes is 15 minutes with some better-looking guy for her to ditch me. Nah, I am good. Story 26. In my case, I usually think, she's cute, but A, she's taken. B, she's not my type, which sometimes is putting it lightly. C, she's gone before anything can happen. This has happened over and over again to where I can't even be bothered to try anymore. I can't be disappointed if I get what I expect. Story 27. Whenever I see a woman or girl who is more than 8, I don't even consider pursuing her. I already think she's out of my league, even though I've heard from girls that I'm like a 7.5. I think that's just one of the many issues of today's digital world that have made our expectations high. Yes, I need to change my way of thinking, but it's harder to do than it seems. Story 28. More often than not, thoughts run through my head based on how I feel in the moment. Women complain a lot about men bothering them, and I don't want to bother her. I don't want to put her on the spot of having to reject me. That's an uncomfortable feeling, having to reject someone. I don't feel like feeling rejected. I may not be rejected, and I'll be okay if I am, but I just don't want to face the more likely possibility of being rejected. Statistically, I'd say I'm one of the guys who's more successful at dating than average, but I still have a high rejection rate, and it just gets old. She's really fine, but she probably has issues. Statistically, we're probably not a match, so this is a waste of time. I don't feel like spending any money on someone I don't know, and we're most likely not a match, so it'll be a waste of time and money. She probably wants a relationship. I just want something casual. If things work out to more dates, she'll likely get attached. I don't want to deal with that, and I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. She probably has a boyfriend. I don't feel like putting in long-term effort right now. If I'm going to put in the effort, I have to be willing to see it through for future dates. She looks too young. She looks too old. Although too young is a bigger deterrent for me personally. I prefer mature women with life experience that matches mine. I'm just thinking with my desires right now, like when a woman is ovulating. Story 29. If she is that pretty and still gives my ugly broke self a chance, then I would seriously question her judgment. So either way, it is best if I just enjoy the moment and get on with my day. Story 30. What? Your friend liked a girl but said you couldn't keep her? Wait, I get it now. You keep switching from speaking as him and then speaking of him. You should clean that up. It's not written well. Frustrating to read. Story 31. I am nearly 30 and have not been on a date since I was in middle school, if that even counts. Literally every woman I talk to, in whom I have even the smallest interest, I assume that. I know at this point I am going to die alone, and there really is not a way things work out for me. As I was told all my childhood by my uncle, life sucks, then you die. He was not wrong. Story 32. Where I live, Portland, genuinely attractive women are so rare that I can always assume 100% of the time that she is taken if I think she is attractive.